Hello. In today's lesson, we're going to talk a little bit about white balance and more specifically, the concept of tricking white balance. Now, I thought I would start out with a white balance that was totally wrong. So as you can see, everything here is very blue. That's because this room is lit by daylight, mainly from a skylight, and the camera is set currently to a 3200 preset color balance. So what I can do is I can go into the menu here and I am going to slowly change it. I'm starting now. As you can see, it's getting a little warmer. I'm now at 4400. So I've gone from 3200 to 4400 and it's getting a lot closer to normal. And as I keep going, you'll see that probably at about 5400, this is a pretty good white balance. It's a gray, semi-cloudy day outside, so I don't have too much blue skylight coming in. So I think that that this pretty much works. So this is the effect of just changing the preset color balance in the camera, and that can be, in many cameras, it can just be dialed in and adjusted by eye. Now I'm going to show you the concept of color balancing. So I'm going to go to one of my previous color balances, which in this case was an old tungsten balance. This is 3300. Now, ideally, what you want to do is you want a white balance on either a white or a gray card, but something that's neutral tonally. So if you use a white card, which is here, I'm actually too bright right now, because if one of the channels was particularly bright, I'm bringing it down to 70%, and then I hit my white balance button, and it says, okay, 5400, let's see what that looks like. You see how I filled the frame with that white. Now, as a comparison, I'm going to go to another previous white balance. This is a little too dark to make it to that percentage. So this is at 50%. I hit white balance. It says 5300. So that's not overly different. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to toggle back and forth between, this is the 5300 from the gray card, and that's the 5400 from that white piece of, that was artboard, actually. So 5300 from the gray card, and 5400 that was from the white card. Now, another white card that I have, and I'm going to switch to my 5300 and reset it, is this. It's actually supposed to be a color correct card. So we'll see if that's any different. White balancing, it says 5400. So this is with this color balance card, and this is with that one. They don't seem a lot different. This is with this one, and this is with that one. Maybe this one is a little bit, maybe just a little bit warmer. So that's the basic way of getting a color balance. You zoom in, you make sure that you're not too bright. You want it in the range of 70%, which is your normal skin tone range, and you hit the white balance button. Okay, now let's say that I don't really want to have this as my color balance. Let's say I would like something a little bit warmer. My hand's a little overexposed here, but you can actually see this is my hand kind of normal. Now, these cards are kind of calibrated. So this one is called a half warm. Maybe you can see that where it says it. Now, what do you think is going to happen if I white balance on something that's light blue? Now remember, what I'm doing is I'm going to be telling the camera that this color is white. So I've brought the level up to 70% on the card, and I'm hitting white balance right now. Okay, so I'm now up to 7,300. So this is, you see how back here it's a lot pinker, a lot warmer. Let's do a comparison. We'll go back and forth between, this was the preset. That's my half warm. And this was my other white balance off a card. So you see that the white balance off the card and the preset are pretty close, but this white balance off this blue card is a lot warmer, and in this case it's a lot pinker. Now, as you can see, when I go in, it actually is fairly white. Now, I'm switching to a warm 1 card, and let's see if it makes it even bluer. I'm going to hit this white balance again. It says 7,700. So as you can see, as I'm using cards that are bluer, it keeps making things increasingly warm. The next card is a warm 2. It's a little bit bluer than the warm 1. And now our color temperature reading is 8,500. Now, this has a slightly different tonality, so there isn't really quite as much pink in it, but it does have a nice warm feel. You can see the feeling on my hand here. Okay, and now we're going to go up to the next one, which is warm 3, which is very warm, or the card itself is very blue. Let's see what the card, what the card looks like on the preset color balance. This is where we were. So it's this much bluer than the warm 2, and I will hit this again, and it says 9,300. So as you can see, as I get bluer on the card, this is preset, and this is from the white balance of the card. Now, it looks like it was getting some other light hitting the card, because see, the card does not really look completely white. Maybe I'll try this one more time, see if it goes even higher. Well, it still has a little blue in it, but maybe the camera doesn't want to go that much further. But you can see how warm my hand has become. So these cards are somewhat calibrated, but more importantly, when you have a card like this, you always know when you have it that it's repeatable. There's also one called minus green, so this has a very green tint. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, this was my preset, so you can see what that looks like. Now, this is kind of a weird yellow-green, because this is the one that I'm balancing over was the one that I had done with the warm 3. So I'm hitting balance. Okay, it says 5,200, but you see how magenta everything is. So the opposite of green is magenta. I doubt that I'd really want to be doing this unless I wanted that as a very special effect. But now that I've said special effects, let's start thinking about some other options. So there's this canary yellow piece of paper that happened to come with the cards as an instruction. So again, looking at the basic color, this is the color of the card just by itself. Going to one of my preset balances now, going back to that non-green balance that I'm going to change, and I'm balancing. Actually, I should make it a little brighter. Balance again. Okay, and I'm at 4,000. Now, what's the opposite of yellow? Well, you have, on one hand, you have red, green, blue, and on the other hand, you have yellow, magenta, cyan. So the opposite of yellow is blue, and you see how this has become blue. So we're kind of arbitrarily, we've kind of balanced, so we have a bluish tint to everything.